I've never come across a fan base like it that want the whole of the fan base at Everton. Please correct me if I'm wrong. That's what the phone lines are open for. I believe every single Everton fan wants Sean Dyche to go. But I may be wrong there. So that's why the phone lines are open. We shall see. Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0. How good were Chelsea? How good was Cole Palmer's goal? Spurs 1, Fulham 1, Spurs booed off. Championship, Derby 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Derby were leading in that. That was live on talkSPORT 2. FA Cup second round today. Burton 1, Tamworth 1. Tamworth 1 on penalties. So that's first round and second round. Non-league Tamworth, halfway down the National League? Have won away at League One sides, and that's a derby, Burton Tamworth. It's only a few miles between them. Solihull Moors 1, Bromley 2, friend of the show.
Yeah, go on to Bromley.
Woody's coming on. Andy Woodman is coming on a little bit. He's made history, hasn't he? First time they've ever been in round 3 of the
He keeps
FA
making
Cup.
history at Bromley.
Of course he does. And it's one of my favourite grounds as well.
Yeah,
First time visit a couple of months ago. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Blackpool 1, Birmingham 2, and Reading 5, Harbour Town 3. Doesn't really tell the story. They went to extra time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your old club Reading were losing that, weren't they?
Sweating a little bit there.
And Kettering 1, Doncaster 2. Kettering were leading in that one. That was live on talkSPORT 2 as well. FA Cup third round draw live on kickoff tomorrow from 7 p.m. with Danny Kelly, who will be your
Such
host.
an exciting draw that is.
Third round.
When you've been played at the lower levels like I have at times throughout my early part of my career, that if you got into the first round, but the third round, if you got there, it was like the final. It's like the final. You're getting drawn. Who are you going to get?
I've got to say, at the start of the season, I was thinking, do you know what? The Cup's not too bothered. Let's make sure we get it, because I'm a Peterborough fan, obviously. And now we're mid-table in League One. It's not looking so good for promotional playoffs. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. And yesterday we were 1-0 up against Notts County, and I got all excited. Then we were 2-1 down against Notts County, and I'm thinking, I'm not interested in the Cups. We won it 4-3, and now I'm all excited about the third round draw and see who we're going to get. So
who do you want, actually? Who does Peterborough really want?
Well, an easy time, Man City, something like that. We had Man City a couple of years ago, only lost 2-0. That was when they were good. I don't know. Everybody says a home tie, but I like to go away to a big ground and see my team there. But I don't know. We haven't played Man United since the 70s, so I wouldn't mind a bit of that. That would be all right.
And you had the Ferguson connection for many years.
That'd be a great story, wouldn't it? And he's still the manager. Fourth spell in charge.
Incredible, isn't it? I mean, that must have been the most comebacks of any manager at one club, surely. John
Sheridan, 5 spells at Oldham, I believe.
Did he?
I think so, yeah. So Oldham fans, please correct me if I'm wrong. 8, 10, 89 on the
midfield general.
Wasn't he? He was a good player, wasn't he?
Good player, was he?
Yeah, he was a schemer, a passer. Yeah. Let's get to your calls. 03717 223 Stefan, a Liverpool fan, was at the game. Steph, how you doing?
I'm absolutely unbelievable. I can't even speak.
Well, you're on the wrong show then, Stephen. You didn't want to speak because we can't see you.
We came at the ground, me, my brother and my sister. My brother and my sister have left me in Liverpool, and I've stayed here so I can speak to you guys.
Brilliant.
You better make work tomorrow. I think there'll be a few Scousers not at work tomorrow.
Yeah. You know what? Work is in America, so I'm supposed to fly to America in Chicago Tuesday, but I'm not going. Of course I'm going. I need to stay for Newcastle Wednesday.
Brilliant. What do you want to say about the game?
Okay, well, the game was fantastic. Obviously, you saw the stats, the way we dominated, the chances we had. 2-0 probably flattered City, but I want to speak about Guardiola and his little 6 fingers to the cock at the second half. Fair play to him. But Guardiola, to me, is a checkbook manager. And I've been saying this for the 5-10 years. He inherited the greatest Barcelona team the world's ever seen. Then he stole Klopp's team from Dortmund, never won the Champions League when he was at Bayern Munich. And then now look at this guy. This guy spends billions and billions and trillions. And, you know, everyone says he's the greatest thing since Paisley and Shankly, but I differ. I even think Alex Ferguson, and I'm a Liverpool fan, is ahead of this guy. That's what I want to say. Forget about the points and the difference and all the goal difference. Guardiola's a fraud, yes.
Oh, come on.
So
what's Klopp then? He only won 1.
Because we couldn't compete with them in the transfer market. He spent billions and billions. Okay, so I asked the question, could he buy Andy Robertson for £8 million from Hull? No. Could he transform the team that we had? No. He spent billions and billions. Could you imagine if Klopp had the same transfer market as this guy? what we'd have won. We probably would have dominated the last 10 years. We went to 3 Champions League finals. We missed out on the league by 1 point twice. You tell me about this guy.
To City. You missed out to City.
Yeah, because of the money that he spends.
Well, you're saying it's because of that, but you're saying it like it is a fact. But it's a debatable thing. Can you keep? How hard is it to keep doing that season after season? And Liverpool, by the way, did spend some money. They made money from the Coutinho deal, and that doesn't matter how you get that money. Well, it does. That's a different debate. But they spent money as well. They spent a lot of money on Van Dijk. They spent a lot of money on Alisson.
Both clubs, by the way, transfer records are outstanding in terms of ticking the boxes, i.e., Champions League finals, Champions Cup winners, etc., etc. So it doesn't really matter to a certain degree what a player actually costs. It's actually finding the players who are good enough. And both teams have managed to do that.
And the other thing, there's a few things I've got to say to that call. Stefan, appreciate it. And please, more calls. 03717223344.
Pep's no fraud. I mean, by the way,
he's not.
No fraud. Sorry,
on the specifics,
I think he's annoyed him with the 6 digits.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But on the specifics, though, Barcelona, he took over Barcelona and he said that was ready-made. It was somebody else's team or whatever. They hadn't won anything for 2 years before he took over. So let's bear that in mind. He turned them into winners. He turned them into the best footballing team we've seen in a long, long time. There are players at Manchester City who he's made better. So somebody like Aymeric Laporte, for example, wasn't an international when he rocked up at City. And Pep Guardiola's played his part in coaching him to be better and become a full international.
But Adrian, in all due respect, we don't need to defend Pep Guardiola. You don't. The man's record speaks for itself, right? So just put that away to one side, right? That's just, as I say, when football is an emotive game, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what it's about. And Pep is emotive at the moment. I've never seen him as emotive as he is, and it's the pressure of he's sensing it in his team. And for whatever you want to say about Pep Guardiola, his team at the moment looks way short of the team that they've had over the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, I mean, you can accuse him of a lack of class, putting 6 fingers up and all that, but when Klopp ran on the field to chest bump Alisson after Jordan Pickford made a mistake at the end of the derby, I mean, was that full of class? No, it wasn't. It's what managers do. You lot get excited, don't you?
Yeah, we let ourselves down.
Overexcited.
Well, I've done it a couple of times.
I wasn't accusing you. On talkSPORT 2, by the way, Will Varney, who travels the world watching NFL. He's your host for live NFL action as the Cardinals take on the Vikings. Here on talkSPORT, next up, we hear from the two bosses, Pep Guardiola and Arne Slot, on the final word.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.